Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the regular session of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, also sitting as all special taxing districts, February 2nd, 2026, at 9 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. We're all here. Can we go ahead and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? But before we start the Pledge of Allegiance, can we please have a moment of silence for former Sheriff John Phibbs?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Supervisor Lyons. We'll go ahead and move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues with the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomments@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comments will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. Desiree, do we have any emails?
We do not.
Anybody from the public that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentations, proclamations, and appointments. None. We'll go ahead and do item number 1, presentation of the mix.
I do have an appointment.
Oh, you got an appointment?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was going that fast, but I do want to reappoint Hugo Garcia to the Planning and Zoning Commission. His term is expired. I think expires this year. I don't understand that the terms went concurrent to the terms of supervisors, but if not, Hugo Garcia decided to continue on the board. I'd like to see his attendance record because I don't know if he's learned enough, but I will reappoint him. He's already said okay.
All right. Move on to item number 1, presentation of the mix with Yuma County and El Condado Informado by Yuma 77.
Welcome to the mix. Representatives from several federal agencies visited Yuma County to take part in a regulatory fairness hearing on federal air quality requirements. The hearing gave local leaders, businesses, and residents an opportunity to place concerns on the official record, focusing on the county's PM10 non-attainment designation.
This hearing was critical so that agriculture and all others interested in solving this problem could come and make their declaration in a formal setting, in a public hearing before our federal partners to make the case that this burden shouldn't be ours. The counties to our west and the counties to our east have received from the EPA an exception, a transnational exception, meaning that they cannot be held accountable for the dust that blows in. We would just want to be treated fairly.
Discussion centered on how the designation affected development, agriculture, construction, defense-related activities, infrastructure projects, and small businesses across the region. Yuma County has again earned storm-ready recognition from the National Weather Service, highlighting its ability to communicate and coordinate during severe weather and flooding. The designation confirms the county maintains multiple ways to receive hazardous weather warnings and alert the public, including redundant communication systems and establish emergency plans.
The recognition is great, but that tells us that Yuma County's been preparing for years to ensure that we're storm ready. And that is a collaborative effort by all first responders, all volunteer organizations, emergency management. We partner with all these agencies to make the community safer.
The Storm Ready renewal is valid for 4 years through 2030. Yuma County has held the designation continuously since 2018. Yuma County officials are reminding property owners to sign up for the Recorder's Fraud Alert Service, a free tool designed to help protect against property and identity fraud. The service notifies users by email or text if documents are recorded using their name or property information. Officials say early alerts can help residents respond quickly to suspicious activity. The Fraud Alert program is available through the Yuma County Recorder's Office website. Before we go, a reminder of an important date. Most county offices will be closed Monday, February 16th in observance of President's Day. Residents are encouraged to plan ahead as regular operations and services will resume the following business day. Thanks for tuning in. Residents can catch the latest episode of The Mix by visiting yumacountyaz.gov and navigating to the VOD section. You can also head over to the Yuma County's official YouTube channel. English episodes are available under the Mix playlist, while Spanish-speaking viewers can find the Spanish version under El Condado Informado. Both platforms offer access to current and past episodes. ¿Prefiere ver The Mix en español? No se lo pierda. La versión en español del programa está disponible bajo la lista de reproducción en El Condado Informado en el canal oficial de YouTube del Condado de Yuma. Gracias por acompañarnos. We'll see you next time.
Moving on to consent calendar, the following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless board members so request. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve items 1 through 11.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 1 through 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to I'm going to go ahead and recess the Yuma County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Yuma County Housing Governing Board. No, that position is vacant. So we'll go ahead and move on to Housing Governing Board consent calendar. The following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless the board member so requests. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action.
Sorry, I'd like to make a motion, we accept the calendar, the items as presented on the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 1 through 4 on the consent, housing consent agenda, calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll go ahead and adjourn the Yuma County Housing Governing Board and reconvene as the Yuma County Board of Supervisors in regular session.
Before we go, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that the housing director is here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. He's got a beard now. That's fine.
Moving on to discussion and action items. The board will open each of the following items separately for discussion and action as appropriate. Item number 1, Constable's Office, Justice Precinct number 1. Mr. Art.
Morning, Art Gutierrez, Yuma County Constable, Precinct 1. Good morning, to the chair, Mr. Porches, to the rest of the Board of Supervisors. On July 1st, 2025, Governor Hobbs signed Senate Bill 1161, amending the writ fee that is collected throughout the counties within Arizona that's collected by the justice courts to be increased from a $5 maximum to a $10 to be established by the Board of Supervisors in each county. The writ is collected by the justice courts and deposited into the Arizona Constable's Ethics and Training Fund. This fund provides training and equipment to constables' offices throughout the state. Yuma County Constable's Office has attended training, and to satisfy our mandatory training hours for constables and both constables and deputy constables at virtually no cost to the county for decades using this fund. The current writ fee of $5 was adopted by Yuma County Board of Supervisors in 2009 and has not had an increase throughout the cost, although training has increased significantly. It's therefore requested that the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, in accordance with the newly assigned statute, adopt an increase from the current $5 fee to a $10 fee.
Any questions from the board? No? Nope. Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Don't all rush it at once.
Seeing none from the public, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 1 as presented.
I'll make a motion. I'll second that motion. And it's to adopt and authorize the chairman to sign resolution number 2026-05.
All right, there's a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2026-05. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 2, engineering.
Good morning, Chairman Porches and members of the board. My name is Veronica Seda, right-of-way agent for the Department of Engineering. Engineering Department received, let me get that on the screen, a petition for the establishment of a portion of County 8th Street and requesting authorization for the Yuma County engineer to incorporate this establishment into the Yuma County roadway maintenance system. This section of the roadway is just east of the Union Pacific Railroad and Highway 95, and just south of the Gowan Milling Company. The petition has been established in the local newspaper, and no objections to the establishment were received. The applicant has agreed to have the road built to county standards and is also present in case the board has any questions. Thank you.
Any questions for staff?
Yeah, I mean, I see the roadway, when it says up to county standards, what do you mean? Oh, I see the roadway, I see the establishment of the roadway, it's on, but I don't, what does bringing it up to county standards mean?
It's built to
Yeah,
the
right, right.
county requirement.
That's right.
Right now, it's kind of potted and it's more asphalt than anything else.
That's correct. There'll need to be some, maybe geotech testing on the road, but it's old pavement that it probably was through a series of chip seals that was constructed and paved. So it's going to have to be improved to actual asphalt.
Okay, right, and where's the gentleman, or who's here representing the applicant? There you go. Do you understand that?
Do
Yeah, sure.
Good morning. My name is Marisol Kelland. I am the president of GCE, Gutierrez Canales Engineering. So the reason we brought this forward is because this road was originally constructed back in the early 90s, I believe. And Mike is here to probably collaborate that, but it's around the 90s is when the road was built. And we have two major mines that are located, just if you see the map, it's DPE's mine, Don Peterson, his mine is located there. And our mine, GCE's mine, is further north of that. And those two mines produce material that are critical to the infrastructure of the city of Yuma and Yuma County as a whole. You know, we produce ABC and asphalt, and we work on millions of dollars worth of projects. I'm sure DPE does as well, both of us. And we also have Gowan, who has critical facilities here as well. So we've got three major companies that really depend on this roadway, and those and then what we produce there benefits the city and the county, and it's critical to get this to be usable. Right now, it's literally almost, you know, just down to nothing. It's a really old roadway that needs to be improved so that our semi-trucks can safely go in and out of there, so that Gowan and all of their employees can go in and out of there. And that was the purpose of trying to at least get this as a roadway that the county could take a look at and possibly maintain and participate in the future.
Well, the reason I asked the question is obviously because the county, once it takes over the maintenance, will take over the maintenance, which means it will be a cost to taxpayers. And I wanted to know what the condition of the road was and what it was going to be delivered as, because this is this is a road we don't go to very, very often. We don't accept private right-of-ways as county maintenance road because of that. So it's good to know that there will be some use that the public will benefit from. Because if it just benefits DPE, if it just benefits Gowan or somebody specifically, then we need to make sure that the county doesn't get saddled, or the county residents don't get saddled with the cost of maintaining a piece of road that only serves some private entities. No matter how large they are, they need to understand that it's not just a matter of accepting a road, it's a matter of maintaining it from now on. So I just wanted to know, I wanted to see the principals and be able to tell them, hey, look, just because we're taking over the maintenance doesn't mean that you don't have any responsibility whatsoever to keep it up, especially if you're going to drive some heavy semi-trucks in it. It's going to be a heavily maintained road. I just want to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? All right, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2026-06 as presented.
Comment.
I'll second that.
A comment. I'm always surprised that nobody complains about it until later. I will ask the question later, why did you take on this private road? Well, we're doing it because we think it brings benefit to the county, but we want you to know that you get an opportunity to say your piece, and that's what this public hearing is for, okay?
All right, there's a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2026-06 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 3, Development Services and Planning and Zoning Division.
Don't be afraid. You know, we understand that anytime we adopt a new fire code, it means a lot more requirements that have to be met. Is it the truth here? Is it the same?
Somewhat. So we do have a 20-year-old fire code.
Oh.
So our fire code was adopted in 2005. So while it still serves its purpose, it's done well. Fire code wouldn't be changing. It would be updating. So our current fire code is, like I said, 20 years old. So there's things that we're seeing now that we just don't have in this fire code. For instance, our solar plants that are using their battery storage systems, we don't have any verbiage or any code for these large solar plants. Charging stations for cars and these electric bikes, we don't have any provisions for those as well. And quite honestly, I think we have the oldest fire code in the area, so it would be nice to have a more updated fire code that would meet the needs of.
And you want to go to the 2024 fire code?
Right. So the 2024 code is recently been adopted by the city of Yuma, and the state fire marshal is actually getting ready to adopt the 2024 as well.
That would be the only reason I would ever consider adopting a fire code. It's insurance purposes, because if you don't have a fire code that applies, insurance companies just don't want to insure you. But every time we approve a fire code or a building code that is updated, brings in a lot of regulations, and too many of them to mention. I'm just a little concerned that when we approve the 2024 fire code, just because the city of Yuma, people move out of the city of Yuma because there's too many restrictions and regulations. So adopting the city of Yuma doesn't make me proud. It just means we're coming up to date, a little more civilized, a little more up to date code. But I'm not
Well, it's
happy
not
about
really the city, though, it's the state. The state's fixing to adopt the same thing.
So it's a state code.
Correct.
Makes me feel better.
Any other questions for staff?
I move.
Do you know what the economic impact is of this? I mean, what are the immediate requirements?
So the base of like the requirements are gonna still come from the building code. The building code sets the requirements for fire safety. The fire code just brings clarity of what's gonna be required once it's been established what's needed. So for your residents, not too much, there shouldn't be too much change at all. All we're doing is gonna update, and this will be more directed towards our large scale commercial projects, safety areas of that nature. Something to consider also is storage. There's also more verbiage and clarity for storage for, say, areas like Sidcol. There's now more clarity for how things are gonna be stored in those type of areas as well. So for your residential areas, not too much, because that just points you back to the residential code for your residents.
Mr. Chair, I have another one. That we're still trying to, there's legislation about small nuclear power plants being put everywhere. Does this have anything in there about regulating those?
There could be. I haven't looked too deeply into it, but I'm sure it'll be there.
Okay.
Basically what we have right now, definitely what we have right now, probably not.
I know.
2024, most likely, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the
Well,
2024
we
internet.
send it back to the planning and zoning
Oh,
to initiate adoption.
okay. There you go, Maggie. Oh, got it.
Do we send it, do we need a motion? No, or just direction, send it back? Okay, so to initiate the adoption of the 2024 fire code, all right? Moving on to legislative issues.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Alejandro Figueroa, Economic Development and Intergovernmental Affairs for Yuma County. Alrighty, so we'll start with the state. This slide provides a quick snapshot of where we are in the legislative session. Today, we're currently on day 22nd of the session, and bill introductions are approaching their peak. To date, the legislature has introduced 1,613 bills, along with 112 memorials and resolutions, and 86 referrals, which gives a sense of the overall volume and pace. Over the next 2 weeks, activity will shift quickly from bill introductions to committee hearings and early policy decisions. On the deadline front, the Senate bill introduction deadline is today, February the 2nd, while the House deadlines were extended by the Speaker with requests due February 6th and introductions by February the 9th. The last day for bills to be heard in policy committees is February the 20th, which is a key inflection point for determining which bills are likely to remain viable. The session's 100th day is April 25th, which serves as an important marker as budget and end-of-session negotiations begin to take shape. This slide just highlights the committee activity for this week, Monday through Thursday. We're entering a heavy policy committee period with multiple committees meetings simultaneously in both chambers. Several committees of interest for Yuma County are active this week, including appropriations, transportation, natural resources, agriculture, public safety, education, and health.
Alejandro?
Yes, ma'am.
Are any of our proposals on any of these agendas?
Yes, they are, and I will go over them in
I'm
a second.
sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll just go over it for now. So our solar consumer protection bill is SB 1419, which is not on the slide. was assigned to the Senate Natural Resources Committee. We expect this bill to be heard in committee on Tuesday, February the 10th, so next week. The fire code clarifications for county buildings, bill is HB 2324, was assigned to the House Government Committee, and we anticipate the bill will get a hearing in committee on February 11th or the 18th. So they're coming up. Thank you for asking. Okay, so HB 2795 is sponsored by Representative Michael Carvone, LD 25. This bill would limit county land use authority for small modular nuclear reactors after a project has received full federal approval, including an early site permit, design certification, and completion of federal public notice requirements. The bill is intended to provide certainty and consistency for advanced energy projects by preventing additional local zoning barriers once federal safety and sitting standards have been met. While counties would retain a notification and procedural role, the bill represents a state-level preemption of local zoning discretion is specific to small nuclear reactors. The legislation also preserves long-standing zoning exemptions for agriculture and mining activities and further clarifies regulatory processes for aggregated mining operations. This bill is scheduled to be heard by the House Committee on Natural Resources, Energy, and Water on February the 3rd, so tomorrow. There is no immediate project proposed in Yuma County. However, the bill has broader implications for county authority over land use decisions related to future energy or industrial infrastructure.
Mr. Chair, Alejandro, the Legislative Policy Committee for CSA took a position of opposition as written because we have no say in where they're located.
Thank you, Supervisor Pancrase. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm happy to take direction from the board for any of these bills. If you want to take a position or just wait for it to be heard, staff's recommendation is to let CSA take the lead on this one since it's one of our legislators and he's the majority leader, but it's definitely not good for the county at this point in time, as written.
Mr. Chair and Alejandra, it's not that the Legislative Policy Committee didn't take a position of opposing small modular nuclear reactors. What we took up opposition is that we feel like those who serve the public at a closer, in a closer overseeing of that should have some sort of say. As you know, we are at the end of the San Andreas Fault. Well, if we don't, not everybody realizes that. So those kind of facilities need to be looked at the local level as well as state and fed. Thanks.
Alejandro, I'd like to make a comment here, or at least have it considered on the legislative items to watch. There was a bill that one of our county supervisors got a lot of weight into it, which was a bill regarding solar permitting. I'd like to keep an eye on it because I thought that was very good that it was mentioned as one of the possible bills that would make it through the legislature. That would be a bill setting out some protection for the users. That would mean that instead of leasing it, you would own the equipment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we just want to put that, one of the legislators to watch, it would be, one of the legislative items to watch would be a bill regarding solar permitting and processing. Now, right now, it's really tilted for the solar companies or solar leasing companies. It's not really tilted towards the consumers. I'd like to see it if we could, if you keep an eye on it, if it comes up, make sure that we know about it so we can all call our legislator in support.
Chairman Porcher, Supervisor Reyes, yes, that's a Yuma County backed bill, the Solar Consumer Protections, SB 1419. As I mentioned before, it's going to be heard in committee next week, Tuesday, February the 10th. I'll move on to SB 1241. This is sponsored by Senator Bollock, would allow property owners or contractors to bypass municipal or county permitting process for single-trade residential projects by using qualified private permitting providers. Private providers would be responsible for plan review, inspections, and issuing permits and certificates of completion, which must be submitted to the county within 48 hours and accepted as valid. The county would be limited to charging reasonable recording fees only and could not impose additional review requirements or take adverse action based on use of private providers. The bill also requires counties to post all applicable building codes and fee schedules online or lose the ability to charge permitting fees for these projects. Staff, meaning myself and our lobbyist, are monitoring the bill closely due to its implications for local control, permitting operations, and fee structure. It'll be heard February the 4th, 9 o'clock in the Senate.
Alejandro, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
I think this is a runaround for the solar specific because it's a single trade residential construction project. So instead of naming it instant solar permitting that we defeated last year, now they're just naming it the single trade residential construction. And Bullock was going to be the person carrying that bill. So I think that it's a workaround and they've just changed the verbiage.
Chairman Porteous, Vice Chairman Lyons, yes, it is, and this is even broader than last year's.
Yes.
That's why staff, well.
It's even more dangerous.
I recommend opposing it.
Yeah.
I have not heard, I know DDS is reviewing it right now, but my recommendation as it stands is for the board to oppose this bill.
They sought last year to bypass planning and zoning and go directly to permitting. And that's something that we opposed last year, and I think they've just changed, again, the verbiage.
Mr. Chair and Alejandro, are you going up to testify on either one of these on our behalf?
We'll have Alexis take the first
Okay.
stab at this one, yes. Okay, I'll move on to SB 1161. Which provides a technical but important protection for funding already appropriated for the Yuma County Family Advocacy Center. Normally, unspent state funds lapse back to the general fund at the end of the fiscal year. This bill prevents that from happening for this specific appropriation. The exemption gives DPS and local partners flexibility in timing, particularly if there are delays related to procurement, contracting, or project implementation. The bill does not increase funding, it simply preserves the $750,000 until it is fully used for its intended purpose. This is a Yuma County specific measure, and staff will recommend a position of support. If the chair and the board decides, they can vote on supporting this one, and I'll take official position on this bill.
Well, I think our official position will be supported, so.
I'll second that.
So it's just basically direction to support.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll move on to the federal component.
Chairman Porteous.
Yes.
There was a motion and a second. Will the board be voting?
Team vote.
I thought it was just direction, or is it, okay,
We made a
there was a motion and second to support that bill, presented, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. On the federal side, we're currently in a partial federal government shutdown, as you know, meaning some agencies remain funded while others are operating under shutdown procedures until Congress passes additional fiscal year 2026 appropriations or a continuing resolution. The primary outstanding issue is unfinished fiscal year 2026 funding with the Department of Homeland Security at the Center of Negotiations. The Senate has acted on a funding package, but it still requires House approval. On the executive side, the Office of Management and Budget has directed agencies to implement shutdown plans, which typically pause non-essential activities and may result in furloughs for some civilian staff. Importantly, for Yuma County, frontline border and national security operations continue. Customs and Border Protection officers and Border Patrol agents are designated as essential employees, and ports of entry remain operational through prolonged shutdown conditions, though prolonged shutdown conditions could affect administrative and support functions. The Department of War is not impacted at the mission level. Active duty military operations continue, though some civilian DoD employees may be furloughed, potentially slowing non-critical administrative processes. At this time, there is no immediate disruption anticipated to ports of entry or military operations in Yuma County, but staff is closely monitoring developments and will flag any secondary impacts if the shutdown extends or DHS funding negotiations change.
Okay, so the way I understand it, this is a partial government shutdown because we already approved, they already approved parts of the government to be funded through 2026. And the holdup on this one is that the House passed a bill, including DHS funding, which has already got a $75 billion allocation under the big, beautiful bill. So it's not going to stop the operations of DHS. What they want is to manage the actions of DHS.
The Senate passed a bipartisan bill on this one, and it's now to the House. The House was out of session. They came back today. The issue is now they are going to have to agree to prolong the discussion or separate the ICE funding for 2 more weeks. So they're going to keep ICE outside of the negotiations and just focus on the package at this point in time. So yeah, that's what the executive branch, the White House, agreed with the Senate Democrats, is that they prolong the discussion just specifically for ICE for 2 more weeks.
For Department of Homeland Security, which includes ICE.
Within DHS, they have ICE, yes. Immigration.
But it's not stopping anybody from working in DHS
No, sir.
or anybody.
Not at this point in time.
And the House has a one vote majority and a Republican majority, so it's going to be tough to get everybody to come back and vote. But hopefully we'll get it passed. Okay, that's it.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my regular presentation. If there are no more questions or comments from the board, I'd like to continue with discussing or presenting the 2026 federal legislative priorities to the board of supervisors.
I do have a question, and it's because I've been told that the opening of the lanes to go north, it's due sometime in March of this year. Now, how are they going to handle that many lanes? Do you have any sense at all of what their funding is?
Mr. Chairman Porteous, Supervisor Reyes, they are not planning to open the full 16 lanes at this point in time.
They'll open the 8 lanes that they normally do and continue operating the way they had.
Hopefully
so it look better.
Hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. But yes, as I've been instructed by the board and by the chairman, I'm working with other jurisdictions to draft a letter. The board has already sent a letter on this regard in the past, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors. But I've been instructed to work with other jurisdictions to draft a letter that will be signed by the different entities and submitted to the Arizona Congressional Delegation.
Let me ask a question. The new port of entry is designed so that the middle is really pedestrian lanes. Is it going to be like that now that they open up the traffic lanes to the east?
It is my understanding, Supervisor Reyes, that the pedestrian lanes will stay the same for now. That's going to eventually go from 10 to 14 lanes in the future. But as of right now, they're just focusing on the POV, the private vehicle lanes, going from 8 to 16. But again, staffing is going to prevent them from opening the full 16 lanes.
Right, so the only change is going to be that instead of having to go all the way west, you will make a right turn before you get to that. It will be opening what we used to think as the old commercial lanes.
Right. We're working, or Yuma Port Authority is working with the Mexican side and trying to figure out how they plan to feed the new port of entry traffic into the new port of entry. If they're going to keep the 2-3 lanes they have right now going into the port of entry from the Mexican side, or if they're going to open that up to the full Avenida Internacional, as they call it, Carlos G. Calles, which has 5 lanes right now. So they can go from 3 to 5 and see how they feed into the new port of entry northbound. And but I'll keep you posted once I hear back.
Well, once they have the design of how they're going to route all those traffic, let us know, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Proceed. Okay, so every year, as you know, we come up, the Board of Supervisors approves, drafts and approves legislative priorities for the federal government. This time, I've taken the liberty to draft include a couple new items for your review and approval and a hopeful adoption before the NACO conference this year. So I'll go over them. We remain asking, the county will continue to ask for a permanent funding of the PILT, as we've been doing for the last few years, as you know.
Mr. Chairman and Alejandro, I sat down with Congressman Biggs on Friday morning with a group of farmers to address some of the shutdowns and being able to continue to get H-2 visas approved. But one of the things that I brought to his attention is that we have an increasing number of private businesses who are locating their businesses on federal land, which does not require any county oversight, and thus detracting from the overall tax base, and asked him to consider some type of an amendment to PILT that would adjust that and provide some relief to county governments. They're going to be using our roads, they're going to be using all of our infrastructure, and yet they will be exempt from local property taxes, basically seeking refuge on federal installations. And that continues to be an increasing practice. We first saw it with General Motors Test Track, and now we are seeing that with other companies in this area looking to co-locate on MCAS or YPG. And again, they will be exempt from taxes, even though they use our infrastructure. Yeah, and so we need to follow up on that and remind them that they're basically providing, the federal government is providing a safe haven for private businesses at the expense of local governments.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. The second item is, again, supporting agricultural labor enhancement, which has to do with H-2A visas. The idea is to remove that 3-year cap, or extend that, and ask for an appropriate issuance of visas, H-2A visas for the ag industry, which they currently share with the dairy and cattle industry at this point in time. So,
Mr. Chairman, and if we can amend that as well, the applications cannot be submitted more than 75 days prior to the date designated by the grower. So the grower says, I need people on this day, and you have to backdate it 75 days. So we need to ask for 100 to give them more flexibility and more time for UCSIS and State Department and Labor Department and the consulate's office to be able to provide that, because we've had thousands of applications slow walked or rejected this ag season. So we have actually had ag producers not have people available, and we have lost that crop. And it's had to be plowed under because it was ready to be harvested and they didn't have the people here still. So 75 versus 100.
Wouldn't it be more appropriate to just simply ask them to make a decision quicker? I mean, they could still take, it could be 25 days before the deadline. When they say no.
Most of them, Mr. Reyes, are utilizing that 75 days, except when there's an administrative hold. And that administrative hold can be done at any time by State Department. But the 75-day, taking it from 75 to 100 facilitates the 4 agencies that need to approve and provides a little bit of an extra buffer. It used to be that 2% of all of the agricultural submissions were pulled back for agricultural review, but this time, because of waste, fraud, and abuse priorities from this administration, they're now pulling out the entire application, which has had a devastating effect on local ag producers. The other challenge that we are seeing is that and what we've recommended, because I took 3 ag labors, the largest in Yuma County and in the nation, over to meet with Congressman Biggs. What we discussed is the lack of ability from the State Department for people who have been previously approved to then just be re-upped. They're actually resubmitted through the entire process again, even though for 10 or 15 years, Tony, they've been crossing, they've gone home, and they've had 0 violations. They're still subject to the complete approval. So we've asked for an exemption in that review.
That, I think, is a little more directed, but, I mean, if you give them more time to make a decision and they still doesn't change the decision, it just shortens
Old
up.
approach.
Yeah. It's easier to get the time
It's
extension,
called
I suppose.
government bureaucracy, and it takes forever to get things done, even if they're clean as a
Anyway,
whistle.
so a follow-up with these legislative priorities that include those enhancements is what I would recommend, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to add those comments to the talking points. The document that you have on your package and that I printed out for you as well includes some talking points, so I'll make sure to add those into the actual priority itself. And I have a new one that I'm bringing up to the board, which is Yuma County urges the federal government to establish a clear and durable post-2027 Colorado River management framework that provides long-term certainty for agricultural water supplies in the lower Colorado River region. Federal decisions made under the post-2026 Colorado River management framework will determine how Colorado River water is managed and allocated for decades. Reliable access to Colorado River water is critical to sustaining agriculture and communities in Yuma County, which plays a national significant role in food production. Federal water policies should prioritize agricultural reliability while supporting conservation, predictable management rules, and practical infrastructure and water efficiency improvements. Any comments on that one?
I can comment on everything, Alejandro, just go.
I know, sir. You're the water expert, so that's why I'm looking at you. Again, and the fourth item is related to the additional staffing at the San Luis One Port of Entry as it gets as the remodeling and expansion project concludes in the next couple of years. Lastly, based on the resolution that this board approved last month on the Fortuna Road Railroad crossing, I'm asking the federal government to also consider this a priority for this region. And that would conclude my presentation on the federal priorities, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions or comments? Thank you, Alejandro.
I would, if I may, I would ask the board to consider adopting these
the
priorities
legislative-
for this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Including the one that the board member mentioned?
Yes, it's 100 days instead of 75?
With the appropriate
He added that.
Yeah, he added it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt the 2026 federal legislative priorities.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to adopt the 2026 federal legislative priorities for Yuma County. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you, sir.
Summary current events.
Yep. Here I go. CSA, I attended the CSA legislative reception, and we had Senator Dunn, Representative Mariana Sandoval, and Representative Carbone attended that reception. I met with Ian on issues. I attended the PM10 Federal Regulation Fairness hearing, and it went very well. And then I had a meeting with Paul Ward to get caught up on YMPO issues, since I'm back on that board. I attended the YMPO Executive Board meeting, and I went to the CSA I attended via Zoom the CSA Legislative Policy Committee. Okay.
Thank you, Lynn.
WIFA?
Attended the groundbreaking of the new veterinary on Vita clinic. It'll be the
Veteran.
What?
Veteran.
What did I say?
Veterinarian.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm just a little bit behind today. The new veterans joint use facility with Onvita, and it's the first hybrid in the nation where local hospital will be assisting and caring for our veterans. Both Darren and I got to participate in that, and then several WIFA meetings regarding water augmentation, long-term water augmentation for the state. And then I have been working with the SBA on the PM10 and working with EPA and look forward to having them back in the very near future. And several meetings regarding ag labor specific for this area, and took several constituents to meet with Congressman Biggs in his office on Friday morning.
See, attended the, like I said, the VA clinic groundbreaking, which is long overdue for this area, considering the number of veterans that we have that have retired here. PM10 meeting, again, excellent job, Jonathan, on bringing that to the county so they could hear our concerns. Had a PSPRS meeting, a BRT brief, met with the county engineer, and we toured the foothills looking at roadway conditions and where we can direct some funds to hopefully fix a lot of the roads that are in the foothills in East County. And met with different people, referenced different issues.
I think I can just brief it up a little bit. I had a meeting with the Grijalva, which is encouraging, given that his father used to be the congressman, and he named the chief of staff Ruben Reyes, who's from Somerton. So I think the focus is going to continue being Arizona, the portion of southern Arizona that she represents. They also toured the border, so hopefully her focus will be, as I told them, that once we finish with that improvement on the regular border, we focus on making that whole eastern border a full service crossing, so that we don't have to have a split in the city, and we don't have to have the way that the city gets cut up in half by all this traffic going to Mexico later in the afternoon. So she's aware of all the variables that work in that system. Now the other one is the opening of the Arizona 1, which is now, instead of First Bank Yuma, it's now Arizona 1, and I got to meet
One Arizona?
One Arizona, One Arizona, which is now what First Bank used to be, another what's it called, credit union that we have access to. Hopefully they will be more reactive to local issues as they were in the past, as First Bank was in the past. Still an Arizona credit union, so still works pretty well. Had a couple of meetings with constituents. Gadsden has come up to the top of my list. I wanted to thank Maggie for involvement on some water issues that we have in Gadsden. And obviously the Gadsden project, which has been ongoing for a year, is starting to look like it's closer to completion. So I want to thank Ian and the people that are involved in that process, including the Yuma County Sheriff, not the deceased one, John Phipps, but the new one, Mr. Ogden, and his staff. They've been very, very good at it. That's it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Reyes. Attended the CSA reception, the CSA meeting, the PM10 meeting for a brief, about an hour that I was here. Also attended the ribbon cutting for the One Arizona Bank in San Luis. Met with Carla from Senator Kelly's office, and we talked about the federal priorities. And I attended the Amberley's Place gala dinner.
Thank you,
Ian?
Chairman. Got a few things I'll try to get through them quickly. Met with Tanya Hodges, Executive Director for YCETA. YSIPTA board meeting, joined Arizona at Work for a visit by officials from the Office of Economic Opportunity and DES. Attended the beginning, the first hour or so of the PM10 regulatory hearing. Met with the new Somerton Vice Mayor, Juan Castillo. Attended the ribbon cutting for the new Residence Inn by Marriott on Sunridge Drive in Yuma. Attended the groundbreaking for the Yuma VA outpatient clinic and sent photos to my dad to try to encourage him to move to Yuma County. YCBT meeting, the BRT meetings with each supervisor, and thank you for your guidance and input. It's very important to get that at this stage of the budget process. Attended meeting of the Merit Board to select winners of this year's Employee Recognition Awards and spoke on behalf of administration's nominee for Employee of the Year, Alejandro Figueroa. Attended the gala fundraiser for Amberley's Place. I received my ICMA credentialed manager designation for another year, actually for another 5 years based on my time of service. I guess that's another way to say that I'm getting old and I don't need to do it every year anymore, just every 5 years. And just a reminder that the next regular Board of Supervisors meeting is Thursday, February 19th, 9 a.m. right here. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Meeting adjourned.